Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? I'm just checking my volume here to be sure you can hear me. Let me know in the comment if you can hear me. Yeah, but thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we're so you know sorry for starting late. Been a very busy day, and yeah, I'm just so thankful that I made it here, right? And yeah, thank you so much to all our viewers on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so very much for being patient and for joining us. And like most of you know, this month, like if you've been following or maybe joining me on Facebook, this week is not this week, this month is our mental health awareness month. And so I have come up with a challenge for us for this 31 days to like engage in. um I believe that with this challenge it would help in supporting our mental health. It will help in improving our moods. It will also help with just being present. um Engaging in this challenge will also help in improving moods for sure, right? And so, if you have not joined, it's not too late. We're just on day 3 today, and so you can still join. And the challenge for today was to, take a deep breath every hour. It's important for us to take deep breaths, and sometimes we're so busy, we're so busy with our day that we forget to take time just to take deep breaths in, right? And it could be as simple as just closing your eyes, just sitting somewhere that is quiet and calm, and just inhaling. Then you exhale out, and you inhale, and then you exhale out, and you inhale, and then you exhale out. And you just repeat the process. It's as simple as that, right? Or it could also be as simple as just maybe looking for some apps, or maybe even joining uh, like even getting some apps. Yeah, you could find some breathing exercise that way. Even on YouTube too, you could get you could get some things too on YouTube as well too. So it's an exercise that is not so difficult. It's easy to do, and it helps with improving our moods. It helps with reducing stress and anxiety. So that's one exercise you can do. So tomorrow we're still going to continue the challenge. Come out, come join me, and you can do it. Just you alone, or maybe with a friend, or as a family, or as a team too, right? And yeah, so that's all about that for the challenge. And so, if you've been following me, like I said, last week when I was here, I talked about the DBT skills, and one of the DBT, like the dialectic behavioral therapy. So, what one of the things we've been talking about is the distress tolerance. The distress, when we use the techniques with the distress tolerance, what it does is that it helps in reducing mood. It helps with emotional regulation. It helps with decreasing lots of behavior as well too. And so last week while I was here, we looked at coming up with lists, of pleasurable activity, or list of distracting activity. I hope you were able to come up with your own plan for you for your teen, for your children, because that exercise was really an engaging one. And I had some of the clients I work with tell me that they were able to come up with a plan, so which is exciting too, right? And I think what I shared last week was something that you could use as a parent, you could use with your children, with your you can make it even fun, everybody sitting together and coming up with those list of activities, right? Yes. And so today I'm going to be talking about still another DBT skills. Is called, so this one as well too is called the tip method, the tip technique. So I'm just gonna put it up there. Yeah, so it's called the tip. So I'm gonna put it up there. So the T, I think for using this techniques, for using this tip, it's when you're feeling really, really overwhelmed with emotions, then you can use this tip. It works perfectly. It helps with teenagers, it helps adults, it helps youth, it helps everyone deal with overwhelming emotions. It helps everyone deal with waves. When you're having waves of emotion coming at you all at the same time, to using this technique can help. So if you're a parent here, if you're a caregiver here, if you're a teen or a youth, this is a skill that you can practice. This is a skill that you can teach someone. This is a skill that you can use. And so we're going to practice it. We're going to talk about it today. It's called the tip skill. So the T, I'm going to be putting it out there. So the T stands for, for temperature. So I'm just putting it out there, right? So the T stands for temperature. So I think it's something that it's very similar, right? When we feel stressed, when we feel overwhelmed, sometimes, going out, maybe let's say if we have like a cool temperature, if we have like cooler temperature, going out, what it does is that what a cooler temperature does is that it decreases the heart rate, right? So it decreases the heart rate, which is usually fast, when we're experiencing a lot of emotions, a lot of overwhelming overwhelming thoughts, when we're experiencing a lot of overwhelming emotions. So what a cooler temperature does, and so let's say for instance, right, snow, go out in the snow, that's a cooler temperature. But what if even during the summer we don't usually have like cooler temperature? Maybe you could use like ice cube, right? So ice cube, what it does is that when you put that ice and maybe on your skin or on anything, what it does is that it decreases the heart rate. So rather than the heart rate, just usually pumping very fast when we're really overwhelmed, when we have, an emotional, when we're really overwhelmed emotionally, it decreases it. And so another way could be either a splash of cold water on the face too, right? So those are things that are cool, especially the splashing the water on the face. That's awesome, especially when we're in the summer, right? So splashing of cold water, using of ice, and holding that ice and rubbing it, it has a way of just decreasing your heart, or decreasing your heart. So that's one way. And so the I here, so I'm just writing it out so that you can see what I'm saying. So the I here stands for intense exercise, intense exercise, right? Remember that in one of our series I had talked about the importance of movement. And so that's the same thing here. It's that when when you build up, lots of energy as a result of, all those overwhelmed emotions, right? It could really be good, just to depend on that, that energy. And so when you're talking about intense exercise, it could be like running, it could be like maybe like anything that has to do with cardio, just to get things moving. It could also be walking very fast. It could also be walking very fast, and engaging in in activity that pumps, that keeps you going. And sometimes it could be having gym membership, taking advantage of that, using that as well too. And so sometimes this exercise, with intense exercises, that you could go for 10 to 15 minutes, right? So when you find out that you're engaging all those overwhelming, thoughts, all those overwhelming emotions, you're doing exercise, you're walking very fast, you're, on your cardio exercise, you're doing it. What is happening, or what's going on, or what you're noticing is that you're not just focusing on that emotion or on that thing that was stressing you. You're focusing on that exercise, and what happens, it reduces, you know, that stress. And another thing again you can do as well too, which is the P. The P stands for, you know, paced paced breathing. It stands for paced breathing, right? And so, like I said, today on our challenge, what we had done today was I had asked everyone to take deep breathing, to take a deep breathing for every hour. We cannot, we cannot, emphasize or overemphasize the importance of breathing, the importance of just slowing down and just taking deep breath, the importance of, just slowing down, being in the moment, and just taking that deep breath, just focusing on your breath, noticing what's going on and noticing what's happening. We cannot emphasize how it helps in reducing, anxiety. It helps with improving mood. It helps with just being in the present, being in that moment. It works like magic, and especially where you have kids and teenagers that are so stressed. Kids and teenagers maybe even having appointment, and they're having all these emotions because they're so stressed and worried. Having those deep breathing, those paced breathing, it helps a lot. What it does is that when that breathing is being controlled, it helps with just reducing the stress, reducing that overwhelmed, feeling and everything. And then the last P is called progressive. And progressive muscle relaxation. Yeah, so that's what the last one is called. The last one is called progressive muscle uh, relaxation. This one has to do with, in order for you to be relaxed, the muscle has to be relaxed. When we're experiencing, keep in mind that when we're experiencing like overwhelming emotions, the body sometimes are really tensed, right? The shoulders sometimes could be tensed, and that's because of all the, how stressed we are. So sometimes the stress. And so the progressive muscle relaxation help in just, you know, it helps with just, reducing those tensions that we feel while we are stressed. And this one could be, this exercise involves you sitting down. It involves the shoulder, the abdomen, it involves the back muscle, it involves everything. So this one, it's really good. It's a great way for your body to, let go of all those excessive, energy that has been built up because of all those overwhelming emotions. So this progressive muscle relaxation is awesome. If you check on YouTube, YouTube has lots and lots and lots and lots of example of this progressive muscle relaxation as well too, because that one has to do with the whole body. You're scanning the whole body, you're scanning everywhere in the body. It helps with just, releasing those tension that the body has, that the body has built up, or that the bones and muscle has built up as a result of those overwhelming emotions, right? And so those are my tips for today. And so a typical situation would be, so let's say you woke up in the morning and you were feeling empty and you were feeling down, and it didn't help that maybe the weather, was one of those dull, one of those dull, dull, dull days, and sometimes, and as a result of that, you're having all this flashback, you're having all those thoughts coming, you know. And so an example would be, that's the situation, right? So the T, it's which is a temperature, like we said, could be maybe choosing to have like a hot bath, or maybe choosing to like maybe splash water on your face, or maybe choosing to like do something that is warm on the body just to make you relax. And so giving yourself, just showing yourself, that kindness, right? Showing yourself that kindness could be that. And so the I could be an intense, maybe you put on some music, very loud music, and you're jumping and you're dancing alongside with that music, just to relax and just to get your mind away from that thought that started in the morning, right? And then you could involve yourself, in doing the deep breathing exercise, maybe for 1 to 2 minutes. And you could do that, and then you could also try out the progressive muscle relaxation, right? And so that is your technique that you can try, or maybe you could teach your teenager, or maybe you could do that, even as a parent too. You could try the tip works very well, in helping when we have overwhelming emotions that are just happening. So this tip works very well. So thank you so much to everyone that has joined us today. And the please do not forget that the challenge is still on. So we're gonna be here tomorrow. The challenge is gonna be posted tomorrow. Take time to do the challenge as much as you can. And yeah, that's it. I think for the month of April, we have so much things coming up. We have Q&A, questions and answer with experts that are coming. So the month is loaded. You cannot afford to miss any day at all. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm thankful that you're here. And do not forget to follow us on Facebook. Do not forget to follow us on Instagram and on YouTube as well too. So thank you so very much. I'll see you here same time here next week. Next week we have Ori been coming here next week, and yeah, she has so many things. So come with your questions in the Q&A section. So question and answer with the experts, right? So it's gonna be loaded, and check in for all the challenge and see what the tips or the prompts are for each day. Have a good evening and keep enjoying the weather out there. It's beautiful. All right, from me to you, I bid you a good evening. Bye bye.